Hi, good morning to all. Today, let us discuss about some important questions which are asked in the Databricks Certified Data Engineering Associate. So, these are the questions which are frequently asked in the certification. So, let us start the section. So, first of all, the question is which of the following describes a benefit of data lakehouse that is unavailable in a traditional data warehouse? So here the question is, let us first understand what is this mean by data lakehouse and it compared with the traditional data warehouse to eliminate the incorrect choice and justify the correct one. So let us discuss what is this data lakehouse means. So data lakehouse is a modern data architecture which combines the elements of data lakes and data warehouse. So what is the data lakes means which can store raw unstructured data. Data warehouse means which can store structured schema based analytics. So lakehouse allows storage like data lakes. It can be a reliable analytics and transactions. It can support both structured and unstructured data. So it is a real-time and batch analytics. So here they have given some options like A. Data lakehouse provides a relational system of data management. B. Data lakehouse captures snapshots of data for version control purpose. C. Data lakehouse couples storage and compute for complete control. D. Data lakehouse utilizes priority storage formats for data. E. Data lakehouse enables both batch and streaming. So coming to option A, data lakehouse provides a relational system of data management. So it can store the traditional data warehouse, but warehouse like Snowflake, BigQuery already supports SQL and relational models. So, but this is not unique to lakehouse. So it is not the correct answer. Next, coming to option B, data lakehouse captures snapshots of data for versions control purpose. So here the features provided by versioning systems like Delta Lake in Databricks, some modern data warehouse like Snowflake. So this is not a exclusive to lakehouse. So coming to option C, data lakehouse couple storage and compute for complete control. So actually traditional data warehouse often couple storage and compute. Example like early redshifts. So most modern lakehouse decouple storage and compute, which is the opposite of these statement says. So this is also not the correct to the data lakehouse. So what the option D? It utilizes the storage formats for data. So this is also not a benefit and it is also not a true. So lakehouse typically use open formats like Parquet, ORC. These types of format it will use. So it is not more common in traditional data warehouses. So coming to option E, data lake Data Lake enables both batch and stream analytics. So this is a unique benefit of Data Lake House. So data warehouse were traditionally optimized only for batch processing. Lakehouse are designed to handle both batch and real-time streaming workloads efficiently using undefined engines like Apache Spark, Delta Lake, Apache Flink. So this is the correct key advantage of Lakehouse architecture. So the correct answer is E. So we can go for the correct answer would be E. So next question. Which of the following locations host host the driver and work nodes of Databricks managed cluster? So coming to this question, they have given some option data plane, control plane, Databricks file systems, JDBC data source, Databricks web applications. So for this, first we should know the what this mean by driver, worker nodes, data plane, control plane in Databricks architecture. So coming to driver node and worker node, driver node means coordinates the execution of your code. So main Spark program like worker node means perform the actual data processing task like executive. These nodes are part of Spark cluster running for your notebooks, jobs, or queries. So coming to Databricks architecture, control planner and data plane. So control planner means it manages notebooks, job scheduling, user authentication. Coming to data plane, where your data lives and where the driver worker nodes are run. So this data plane runs inside your cloud account like Azure, AWS, GCP. Coming to this control plane, it is managed by Databricks, typically in the Databricks account. So that the control plane is the brain of managing Databricks workspace. The data plane is where the actual computation and data processing happens, including driver and worker nodes. So, what is the question? Which of the following location hosts driver and worker nodes of Databricks managed? So, where the driver and worker nodes will be worked in the Databricks architecture. So, coming to this control plane, it is handles UI, jobs, APIs, control and access control. So, it is not the data processing. Driver and worker nodes are not hosted in the control plane. Coming to Databricks file system, it is the storage layer within the Databricks environment. Coming to JDBC data source, it is a protocol to connect the external database. Coming to Databricks web application, it is just used in the UI layer used to interact with the notebooks, jobs, clusters. Again, it does not host driver or any worker nodes. So coming to data plane only. So this is the correct answer. In Databricks managed cluster, the driver node and worker nodes are launched in the data plane. So where the actual Spark computation run. So the correct answer is data plane. The next question is, a data architect is design a data model that works for both video based machine learning workloads and highly audited batch ETL and ELT workloads. Which of the following describes how using a data lakehouse can help the data architect meet the needs of both workloads? So here they have given some options. So let us know the requirement in this question. What and then evaluate each option. So what is the main scenario? The main scenario of this question is the data architect needs support two types of workloads like video based ML workloads, highly audit batch like ETL and ELT workloads. So video based ML workloads means these are usually need to work with unstructured data like videos, images. Highly audit batch ETL and ELT workloads means these require strong data governance, transactions. ACID transaction means nothing but atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. So this is the ideal system must. It should handle unstructured data like videos, support for structured ETL pipelines, provide a unified architecture for both. So what this data lakehouse? This data lakehouse is a hybrid system. It ingests raw, unstructured, semi-structured, structured data in data lake. So it can support access transactions also schema. So this is the ideal for machine learning and traditional analytics. So coming to each option, the first option data lakehouse requires very little data modeling. So it means while lakehouse reduce the need for heavy modeling upfront like traditional warehouse, this does not directly address the needs of unstructured ML data or with ACID properties. So this is not the core benefit of the contest. Coming to option B, data lakehouse combines compute and storage for simple governance. So this data lakehouse usually decouple compute and storage. So combining compute and storage is more typical older warehouse, not a lakehouse. So this is also not a correct option. Coming to C, a data lakehouse provides auto scaling for compute clusters. So this feature of the cloud infrastructure defining a future of lakehouse architecture. It helps performance but does not address ML supports for ACID needs. Coming to option C, option A, data lakehouse stores unstructured data and its ACID complement. So it is a correct. So the main lakehouse need can store unstructured data, and it also offers the ACID compliances through format like data lake, Apache, or Iceberg. So this supports audit batch workloads with the data integrity, consistency, and governance. So this option is directly meets both needs in this scenario. So the correct answer is option D. So why this option? Next option E. Data lakehouse fully exists in the cloud. So while most modern lakehouses are cloud based, this is not unique to them. So this does not explain how it helps with ML workloads or ETL with audit requirements. The correct answer is option D, which can match to the scenario. Next question. Which of the following describes a scenario in which a data engineer will want to use a job cluster instead of all purpose cluster? So the main scenario of this question is difference between a job cluster and all purpose clusters in Databricks, and each is used. So coming to option A, an Hadoop analytics report needs to develop while minimizing compute cost. So here this is the interactive exploration. All purpose cluster is better. Even though cost is concerned, job clusters are not ideal for exploratory tasks like Hadoop analytics. So this option is not correct to the scenario. Data team needs to collaborate on the development of machine learning model. So here collaboration and model development are interactive tasks. So this is best done using all-purpose cluster where multiple users can share and work in real time. So it is not also correct option. Coming to C, an automated workflow needs to be run every 30 minutes. This is a scheduled recurring job perfect for a job cluster. So here job clusters are spin up to just for the job, terminated automatically for the job finishes. Great for saving cost on automated workflows. So this correct it is a correct use case for the job case. So option C is the correct answer. Coming to option D, Databricks SQL query needs to be scheduled for upward reporting. So Databricks SQL uses a SQL warehouse, not a Spark cluster. So this is not a job cluster scenario. Coming to data option E, data engineer needs to manually investigate a production error. So manual investigation means interactive hands-on debug. So this is a better done on all-purpose cluster where the engineer can run different cells, different queries, etc. So it is not the based on the job cluster. So the job cluster scenario is an automated workflow needs to be run every 30 minutes. Coming to next question. A data engineer has created a delta table as a part of data pipeline. Downstream data analysts now need select permissions on the delta table. Assume the data engineer is a delta table owner. Which part of the Databricks Lakehouse platform can be the data engineer used to grant the data analysis the appropriate access? So coming to the scenario, each option we can I can explain one by one. The scenario of a summary. The main question of these scenarios I will explain in summary. So a delta table has been created. Data analyst need select permission on this table. Data engineer is the owner of the table. That means he has the permission to grant the access. We need to identify where in the Databricks Lakehouse platform the engineer can manage table level permissions. So, what is the right tool for managing the permissions on the Delta tables? The Databricks Lakehouse platform includes GIU based interface called Data Explorer. So, browse database, schemas, delta tables, view, manage permissions, perform access control using the Unity catalog, assigning privileges like select, insert, modify, etc. So if you want to grant select permission to user, you would use Data Explorer. Navigate to the table permission tab, grant select to the data analysis. Coming to repos, repos are managing code and notebooks similar to Git integration. So this is not used for the access permission. Coming to jobs, jobs are running schedule, notebooks or workflows. So but not table level as is. Coming to Databricks file system, this is used for file storage, not managing SQL table permission. Coming to dashboards, these are visualized data from queries or notebooks. They don't manage data table permissions. So coming to Data Explorer, it is for browsing the managing data assets, allows setting permissions, tables, views, schemas, and catalogs. So the correct answer is Data Explorer. Next question. So here they have given a scenario. Two junior data engineers are authoring a separate parts of single data pipeline notebook. They are working on separate Git branches so they can pair a program and the same notebook simultaneously. A senior data engineer experienced in Databricks suggests where there is a better alternative for this type of collaboration. Which of the following supports the senior data engineer's claim? So here the scenario what they have given clearly which one supports the senior data engineer's recommendation. So two junior data engineers. The question scenario is two junior data engineers working different parts of the same Databricks notebook using separate Git branches to avoid conflict. This works, but it introduces complexity in synchronizing and merging code. The senior engineer suggests a better collaboration method. So, the real future being referred to, Databricks notebooks supported real-time collaborating editing like Google Docs. It means multiple users can edit the same notebook at the same time. Changings are visible live as other tab. It reduces the need for branching and merging in Git for notebooks. So, coming to option A, Databricks notebooks suppose automatic change, tracking, and versioning. But this is not about the version history, not live collaboration. So Databricks notebooks support real-time authoring on a single notebook. So it is true directly relevant to the scenario which they have given. It enables the live collaboration which avoids the complexity of Git branches for simultaneous editing. So this feature is the senior engineer like suggesting. Coming to Databricks, option C, Databricks, Databricks notebooks support committing and notification comments. So it is not, it is true, but this helps with review, not simultaneous editing. Coming to option D, Databricks notebook supports the use of multiple language in the same notebook. It is true, but unrelated to collaboration does not support the senior engineering suggestions. Option E, Databricks notebook supports the creation of interactive data visualization. It helps with exploration and reporting, not team coding or authoring. So, the option B, Databricks notebook support real-time uh, co-authoring on a single notebook. So, it is directly relevant to the senior engineering. Coming to next question. Which of the following describes how Databricks repos can help facilitate CI/CD workflows on the Databricks Lakehouse platform? The main scenario of this question is what Databricks repos are and how they related to CI/CD. in Databricks Lakehouse platform. So what this Databricks repos? This Databricks repos provide Git integration directly with the Databricks workspace. It allows notebooks, Git repository, pull from and push to branches, use version controls. These bridges data engineering and ML ops workflows with the standard DevOps practice. What this CI/CD Databricks means? CI/CD automates integration, merging new code and testing it. Example like notebooks and pipelines. Integration. Deployment. Automatically deploying code to production environment. Databricks repos don't run pipelines themselves but enable Git based workflows, which in turn trigger externally CI/CD tools. So, coming to the given option here, when a user commits or push changes to a linked Git repo, it triggers externally CI/CD process. So the correct option is Databricks repos can commit or push code changes to a trigger CI/CD. So Databricks repos and facilitate pull request review approval merging branches. These are not belong to the above scenario. Databricks repos can merge, change secondary gate branch into a main gate branch. It is also not a support to the scenario. Option C. Databricks repos can be used to design, develop, Git automation pipelines. So these are developing code, but they did not trigger pipeline directly. Databricks repos can store the single source of truth Git repository. So it is the single source of truth in the Git provider, not repos. So the correct answer is Databricks repos can commit or push code changes to a triggered CI/CD process. This is exactly how Databricks repos help facilitate CI/CD by allowing user to commit and push changes that trigger automated pipelines. Next question. Which of the following statement describes data lake? So we have given some data lake analysis of all the options. So what is this data lake means? It is an open source storage layer that brings as its transition schema enforcement data versioning to data lake. It is a top exiting cloud storage. It improves reliability, performance for big data and lakehouse workloads. So here they have given some options like Data Lake is an open source analytic engine used for big data workloads. So this actually describes Apache, not a Delta Lake. Delta Lake is an open format storage layer that delivers reliability, security, performance. So it is a correct answer. Delta Lake is an open format storage layer, reliability as it has an ACID properties, enable security, performance. So this is the best match, which is a Delta Lake. Option C, Delta Lake is an open source platform. It helps manage the complete machine learning life cycle. It describes the ML flow, not Delta Lake. Delta Lake is an open source data storage format for distributed data. So partially it is true, but it is not incomplete and vague. Delta Lake is not a new file format. Option A, Delta Lake is an open format storage layer that processes data. Again, processing is done in engine like Spark, not a Delta Lake. So the correct answer is option B. Next question. A data architect has determined that a table of the following format is necessary. Which of the following code blocks use SQL DDL commands to create an empty delta lake table in the above format, regardless of whether a table already exists with this name? So here they have given ID, birth date, average rating. The IDs are A1 and A2. The birth date they have given and overall rating they have given. So here they have given options create or replace table name as select. So we have to choose certain requirement of the query. So what the data architect want and how each SQL statement works. So the table with the following schema is column and type. So columns are ID, birth date, average rating. The type is string, date, float. The table should be empty, recreated every time that it should override any existing table with the same name. So it uses SQL DDL language. So we need to create or replace statement. So it defines a schema explicitly, does not load any data, work with delta leg. So option they have given. So now they have given a create or replace table name as select ID, string, birth date, average rating, float using delta. So option A, it is a invalid syntax. Select ID string is not valid SQL. Coming to option A, C. Create table if not exists table name, ID, string, birth date, average rating, float. This is also creates the table if it does not exist. If the table already exists, it does not nothing, which violates the requirement, override or recreate the table. Option D. Create a table name as select ID, string, birth date, date, average rating, float. Same issue, it is also invalid syntax as a select should pull from actual data, not define types like this. Coming to option E, create replace table name with columns using delta. So with columns is not a valid SQL in syntax in Databricks. So coming to option B, create or replace table name table name with columns. So uses here create or replace table name which drops and recreates the table if it already exists. Defines an empty delta table with a specified schema. In Databricks SQL, the automatically creates a delta lake table by default. So it matches the architect's need empty table overrides if exists define the schema. Next question. Which of the following SQL keywords can be used to append new rows to an existing delta table? So here the options update, copy, insert into delete, union. So they have given the question to append a new rows to an existing delta table using an SQL command. Option C is the correct answer. Add new rows. Insert into means add new rows to the table, does not overwrite or delete existing rows, commonly used with values or a select query. So coming to this option A, update means it modify existing rows, not a added ones. Coming to copy, not a valid SQL keyword in Databricks to append the rows. Coming to delete, it removes the rows from a table. Coming to union, it combines results of two select queries. So the correct answer is option C, insert it to add a new row to the table, does not overwrite or delete exiting rows commonly used with the values or a select query. So these are, thank you. Next I will upload next video in the upcoming video. Thank you to all.